Hey, Nerd Society! Today, we're diving into the world of Marvel heroes who took a dark turn and became villains. These characters started out as protectors, but things didn't exactly go as planned, and they ended up on the wrong side of the fight. From betrayals to power trips, we've got some interesting stories to cover. If you're excited to learn more about these Marvel transformations, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments which hero turned villain shocked you the most. Captain America. It was a shocking and dark day for Marvel fans when they saw Captain America, the poster boy for everything good and honest in superheroes, utter the words, "Hail Hydra." For a long time, Captain America was the Avengers Boy Scout, always doing what was right for others, sticking to his own morals and ethics. And then, suddenly, we found out he had been a Hydra agent all along, since childhood. Well, it was a huge shock. But it was soon revealed that this was all part of the Red Skull's plan. Using the Cosmic Cube, the villain altered reality, messing with Steve Rogers' past and making him a Hydra recruit. Of course, as often happens in comics, the real Captain America returned. Not only that, but we even got a showdown between these two versions of Cap, as the reality-altering chaos ended up creating two different versions of the character. Daredevil. During the Shadowland saga, things got weird for Daredevil. First, he became the leader of the ninja assassin clan known as the Hand. Then he built a temple called Shadowland and ruled over crime in Hell's Kitchen with extreme violence, even going so far as to cold-bloodedly kill his longtime enemy Bullseye. It seemed like Marvel had given Matt Murdock a massive personality shift, turning him into a villain, but it was later revealed that this was due to demonic possession. That's right. Daredevil had actually been possessed by the Hand's beast, which is why he acted like a villain. With the help of close allies like Luke Cage, Spider-Man, and Iron Fist, he was eventually able to break free from the entity's control. Ben Reilly. A product of the tumultuous Clone Saga, Ben Reilly is a clone of Peter Parker who embraced heroism just like the original. He became the Scarlet Spider and even took on the mantle of Spider-Man for a time in Peter's absence. Alongside Miles Morales, he's one of the few people Peter fully trusts with the Spider-Man name. Despite receiving such an honorable recognition for his work as a superhero, Ben Reilly has turned into a villain several times. One instance was when he became the second incarnation of the Jackal, and more recently, after battling Spider-Man, Ben was drenched in a substance that transformed him into the villain Chasm. Since then, Ben Reilly has remained as Chasm, while trying to recover his lost memories. Phil Urick was a curious addition to Spider-Man's mythology during the Clone Saga, mainly because he took on the name of one of Spidey's most notorious supervillains, the Green Goblin. However, he used the name in an attempt to become a hero. As the superhero Green Goblin, Phil had modest success throughout the Clone Saga, managing to take on several villains from Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery, and even helped fight a Sentinel during the 1996 Onslaught event. However, after a mental breakdown while working with a team of teenage heroes called Excelsior, Phil was forced to retire from superhero work and began working at the Daily Bugle with his uncle, Ben Urick. But things took a darker turn when Phil was nearly killed by the Hobgoblin, Daniel Kingsley. This event triggered his goblin serum-induced psychosis, leading Phil to kill Daniel and take up the mantle of the new Hobgoblin, terrorizing New York. Meline Pryor was a clone of X-Men member Jean Grey, created by Mr. Sinister as part of an evil scheme. She ended up marrying Cyclops and growing close to the X-Men. But when Jean Grey returned, Meline was abandoned by her husband and hunted by Mr. Sinister. With few options left, Meline made a pact with the demons Sim and Nastir to become a conduit for the Limbo dimension, transforming into a demonic force bent on revenge. The Goblin Queen. Recently, Meline unleashed a demonic army on Manhattan. However, after being betrayed by Chasm, she decided to return to Limbo and call off the invasion, choosing to take responsibility for the citizens of Limbo rather than continue her active hostility against the X-Men. While this didn't return her to heroism, it gave Meline a more interesting role as a dark monarch rather than someone solely driven by revenge. Adam Warlock is a hero with a dark side known as Magus. Magus is actually a future version of Adam who went insane due to the use of the Soul Gem. Although Adam tries to maintain his good side and is horrified by what Magus did in the future, he's constantly shifting between good and evil. Warlock has fought and defeated Magus many times, but Magus always finds a way to return. As long as Adam is alive, Magus will always be a part of him, his dark and malevolent side, lurking to show him what he is inevitably destined to become. The best Adam can do is try his hardest to suppress him for as long as possible. Bucky Barnes. Much like his MCU counterpart, Bucky Barnes in the comics was transformed into a killer after he seemingly died on a mission with Captain America. In reality, he was captured and brainwashed by the Russians. When Bucky returned as the Winter Soldier, he became one of Captain America's deadliest adversaries, capable of taking on his best friend. Despite his villainous role, Bucky is now on the side of good. His time as a villain was dark enough to haunt him to this day, and he remains one of the most prominent examples of a Marvel hero turning into a villain, even if just for a brief period. During his time as the Winter Soldier, Bucky was a highly skilled operative with a bionic arm and a reputation for ruthless efficiency. His brainwashing left him with a fractured sense of identity, and he often found himself struggling with his past actions. The redemption arc for Bucky Barnes is a powerful story of overcoming one's dark past and seeking forgiveness. Today, as the Winter Soldier and occasionally as Captain America, he stands as a testament to the possibility of redemption and the ongoing struggle between a hero's past and present. Jean Grey. She is among the first Marvel characters that come to mind when discussing heroes who have turned into villains. Jean has fought alongside the X-Men for a long time and is one of the team's most prominent members, as well as one of the most powerful mutants in the world. When she emerged as Phoenix, Jean's powers were beyond anything the world had ever seen. This made her a primary target of the Hellfire Club, which tampered with her mind and brainwashed her. As Dark Phoenix, Jean commits interplanetary genocide, making her a threat greater than Galactus. Her power is so immense that she can barely control it, rendering her extremely dangerous. Black Widow. In the Ultimate Universe, known as the Ultimates, the Avengers were not like their conventional counterparts. They were much darker and sometimes committed quite questionable acts. However, they mostly stayed on the path of heroism, even if they often blurred the lines. The same cannot be said for Black Widow. When the anti-American organization called the Liberators began invading the United States, Black Widow betrayed her fellow superheroes because she believed that the country had destroyed her homeland, Russia, and that its corrupt and decadent methods were beyond any salvation. While working with the Liberators, she assassinated Hawkeye's family and Iron Man's butler and father figure, Edwin Jarvis. These heinous acts led Hawkeye to track her down and kill her, shooting an arrow directly into her head, eliminating any chance of redemption. Reed Richards, the ultimate version of Mr. Fantastic, might be the most famous example of a Marvel hero who has completely embraced villainy. When he debuted in Ultimate Fantastic 4 in 2004, Reed Richards was quite similar to his mainline counterpart, with the primary difference being his younger age. However, unable to cope with the destruction Magneto caused in New York, the team's subsequent breakup, and most importantly, Sue's rejection of his marriage proposal, Reed's worldview began to change drastically. 6 months later, Reed faked his own death and had the Richards house blown up, killing his family. He assembled a group and founded an organization called the Children of Tomorrow, aimed at perfecting the world. Their base was established in northern Germany and named the Citadel. Time within the Citadel flowed at an accelerated rate compared to the outside world. Over 900 years passed inside the Citadel, during which its inhabitants evolved into perfect superhumans. During this period, Reed Richards came to be known as the Maker. A particularly surprising fact about the Maker is that he is essentially immortal. Reed spent over 900 years inside the Citadel with his Children of Tomorrow, during which he did not age. However, there was a notable change in the Maker during this time. Over the 900 years, he became much more intelligent, and his head had to be elongated to accommodate his enormous brain. That's a wrap on our exploration of Marvel heroes who've taken a dark turn. It's fascinating to see how these characters have evolved and grappled with their darker sides. If you found this dive into the complex world of Marvel's anti-heroes intriguing, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. We'd love to hear your thoughts and any other heroes you think should be on this list, so leave a comment below. And for more exciting content and deep dives into the Marvel Universe, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for joining us today, and we can't wait to bring you more amazing content in the future.